we need to simplify matrix A and matrix B, and then we need to find their product. So let's start by reviewing some imaginary rules and logarithmic formulas. So for imaginary rules, we know that I squared equals -1, that e to the power of IAP equals -1 to the power of A. We know that in a right angle triangle, sine of 53.13 degrees equals 0.8. We also know that, so for logarithmic formulas, we know that logarithm of e to the power of A equals A. We know that logarithm base A of x to the power of b equals b times logarithm of x base A, and logarithm base x of x equals 1. Well, let's see how we can apply these formulas to simplify our matrices. So for matrix A, we see that its second entry, so the square root of -1, the square root of -1 actually equals to the square root of I squared, so it equals to I. Also, we see that the square root of 2 times e to the power of I times p over 4 equals, so we know that e to the power of I times p over 4 equals to -1 to the power of 1 over 4, so this equals to square root of 2 times -1 to the power of 1/4, and we know that this equals to square root of 2i. We also know that 5 times sine of 53.13 equals to 4, because it's 0.8 times 5, so it's 4. Well, we also know that the square root of -9 equals to 3 times the square root of I squared, so just 3i, and the square root of 1 equals to 1. So after all these operations, we get that matrix A equals 4i, I the square root of 2i, 4, 3i, 1. Well, now let's simplify matrix B. I'll highlight matrix A. So for matrix B, we get that logarithm of e to the third power equals 3. So, not that. Wait, let me copy paste matrix B so I can see it right here. So we see that logarithm of e to the third power equals 3. Then logarithm of base x of x squared equals 2. We also know that the square root of -1 times logarithm of e to the power of I equals I times I, so it's just I squared, and it equals -1. We also know that I times logarithm base y of y to the power of 2i equals 2i squared. So I to the power of I times logarithm base y of y to the power of 2y equals I times 2I equals to I squared. So 2 times e to the power of I times p equals 2 times -1, so just equals -2, and logarithm of e to the power of I equals I. Well, so with all that, matrix B equals 3, 2, -1, -2, -2, I. Well, now we just need to find the product of these two matrices. So we need to find the product AB. Let's copy paste matrix A and multiply it by matrix B. And we will get 12i minus 2i, 8i minus 2i, -4i plus I squared, 3 times square root of 2i minus 8, 2 times square root of 2i minus 8, negative square root of 2i plus 4i, and the last row is 9i minus 2, 6i minus 2, and -3i plus I. Again, let's simplify it, and it equals 10i, 6i, -4i minus 1, 3 times square root of 2i minus 8, 2 times square root of 2i minus 8, minus square root of 2i plus 4i, 9i minus 2, 6i minus 2, and -2i.